Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Batman, King Tut's Tomb. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, Batman King Tut's Tomb is part of the Batman Confidential series, which, similar to the Legend of the Dark Knight series, focuses on individual miscellaneous stories of Batman's career. However, the Legend of the Dark Knight series focuses on the early years of Batman's career, where the Confidential series focuses on the first of something in Batman's career. First time he goes up against Luthor, the first time he uses the Batplane, the first time Catwoman and Batgirl tango with each other, the first of something. So, in this instance with King Tut's Tomb, is actually the first time Batman goes up against his enemy, King Tut. Now, the interesting thing to note is King Tut is actually a character that came from the Batman's Adam West old 60s TV show, and was eventually transitioned over into comics. Now, I believe that he showed up in a few issues in the 90s, the early 90s, late 80s, but really wasn't that important, and no one gave a flying fuck about him. However, they decided to redo King Tut in the Confidential series and kind of give it a fresh look. Now, the basic story in the King Tut's Tomb story arc, or it's called a New Dawn story arc, is that Batman has to deal with a bunch of people who work at a museum, the figureheads of a museum. They're getting killed, knocked off one by one. He doesn't know by who. However, every time these people are killed, a riddle is left. So, Batman concludes that the Riddler has something to do with it. But actually, the Riddler has nothing to do with it. The Riddler is ripped fucking shit that someone's going around doing riddles. That's the Riddler thing. Hence the name Riddler. So, Riddler decides to go help Batman out on a case to find out who is causing all these murders. However, Batman doesn't want the help of Riddler. Not at all. No. But reluctantly, they do have to work together. Through figuring out riddles and piecing stuff together, they find out that there's actually someone going around dressing up like King Tut. Yes, like King Tut. You know, someone dressing up like a clown, like the Joker. Okay, I can let that slide. Okay, so, you know, the man bat a giant bat. Okay, I can let that slide. Okay, someone calling himself the Penguin because he kind of looks a little chubby with the nose. I can let that slide. But when you're going around looking like King Tut, you got a problem here. I mean, you're a little twisted in the head. So it's Batman and Riddler versus King Tut. Who will come out on top? You're gonna have to read to see. In addition to the Confidential story arc, which is issues 26 to 28, we get Brave and the Bold issues number 164, 171, and Batman issue 353. And the reasons why is because all these issues are done by the same artist, which is Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who does fantastic art. And as you can see, the cover is done by their art, and they've done many arts for Batman in the 70s, in the 80s, and really nice art. You can say one thing about this book is the art is very nice. So, with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good is that there's actually a pretty good story behind this. Although they play it off like a murder story or mystery story, it's really hard to get into a mystery when, you know, the main culprit isn't really revealed until halfway through, or even like 3/4 of the way through. So it really didn't give me the mystery vibe on it, or the detective vibe. But, you know, you got a kind of a cool dynamic with Riddler and Batman working together, piecing together this story. It's kind of odd exactly how this story is good, because it's a detective story, but it's not a good detective story, but it's a fun detective story. If that makes any sense. Probably not. But I'm throwing it out there anyways. Here. It's all for you. Go ahead, take it for what it's worth. But the story is fun. I enjoyed the story. It was intriguing enough to continue reading, although I felt as though there wasn't going to be a big reveal or anything at the end. I was more or less intrigued on how Riddler and Batman were working together. Really like the dynamics of the two kind of bickering back and forth. Riddler's always been a fascinating character to me because unlike Batman's other characters, his other rogues, he's not a murderous bastard, and he's not absolutely insane. Okay, he's a little crazy. I mean, he does have his compulsions to leave riddles, but he's kind of a level-headed guy, and he's really kind of fun to follow and read, and I really enjoy Riddler. I wish they would do more of him. I like what Paul Dini's done with the Riddler since he lost his memory and became a freelance detective. So, I liked Riddler's and Batman's bickering back and forth. In addition to that, I actually enjoyed the Brave and the Bold and Batman's issues in there too. One, Brave and the Bold, he deals with teaming up with Hawkman. I forget what the other one was. He teamed up with some Indian dude, Scalp something, a character I really don't know that well. And another one where he fought the Joker. So the other issues are fun and enjoyable to read. So that's another good. Downside, the story is pretty short, and the formula isn't that great. Like I said beforehand, it's really the characters and the writing and how the characters are portrayed, which is enjoyable about this. The story is okay, but it's really nothing fantastic, nothing to say, oh my god, that so surprised me, what the fuck was it? No, it's just a normal story, mediocre, cliche. So there wasn't too much to that. The second thing is, where the hell does this belong in Batman's continuity? That's the biggest problem with this. The biggest problem is exactly where does it belong. So I'm going to take a moment, and if you want to sit down here and listen to me, I will use the clues to try to deduce exactly where this belongs in Batman's career. Well, the first thing we know is that the Riddler is in this, and the Riddler has his memory. So it's definitely before the Infinite Crisis, where he loses his memory. Second is he does not know Batman is Bruce Wayne, so it's definitely before Hush. Gordon is Commissioner, so we know it is before Officer Down, where he starts to retire. So we can even assume that it's before No Man's Land, because Officer Down is very close to No Man's Land. Reference is made to Robin, although no particular Robin. We don't know if it's Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, or Tim Drake. However, one thing that we can throw out as a clue is Batman's personality. Batman really doesn't become bitter and dark and really, really moody and bitchy until after Jason Todd dies. We get more of a feel of a Batman that we would get during his early career, which is a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more social, and just a little bit brighter. So, if I had to say, I would put this someplace before The Killing Joke, before Jason Todd was Robin, probably right after Batman, Bat, and the Cat. That's where I probably would put it. I mean, it's really hard to tell, but through the clues or the stuff that they kind of threw in there, the evidence that they threw in there, I'm going to throw it in there. I mean, really, I guess you can put it any place before No Man's Land. The only thing that would tell me to kind of put it after No Man's Land is Batman's suit. But Batman's suit is always inconsistent depending on the artist. So, really, it's up to you. But definitely sometime before Hush, definitely sometime before Officer Down, the story takes place. So I'm going to slide in where Bat and the Cat is. But on the whole, whether or not you should get it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I don't think it's something to go out of your way for, though. It's not the best of the Confidential series, and you can definitely spend your money on something else. So, Batman King Tut's Tomb, I would really only recommend it if you're a Riddler fan, because the Riddler is really the star of this show. But if you're not a Riddler fan, then pass on it and get something else. So with that said, this is Andrew saying peace out for now.